Hi, and welcome to the weekly Oregon Legislature Roundup here at KGW. I'm Hannah Merzbach. Salem lawmakers kicked off their 35-day short session on Tuesday, and this session is going to be busy. I'll be keeping you up to date on what's happening for the next 5 weeks. So what is a short session anyway? Well, Oregon lawmakers have short sessions on even years when they don't have their longer 160-day sessions. Short sessions were initially intended to resolve budgetary issues and fix previous legislation, but the state's Democratic supermajority now uses them to address bigger issues, a point of contention between the parties as state Republicans consistently warn of government overreach. This session, an influx of federal dollars and high state revenue forecasts mean lawmakers have upwards of $1.5 billion to spend. The session got off to a bang on Tuesday as the state House elected a new speaker, Representative Dan Rayfield, a Democrat from Corvallis. This marks the first time the speaker has been from outside Portland in nearly a decade. Rayfield is replacing former Representative Tina Kotek, who stepped down to focus on her bid for governor. Democrats picked Rayfield over Representative Janelle Bynum, who would have been the first Black woman in the role and got 4 votes on Tuesday. This is just one of many leadership changes in Salem, as a new House majority and minority leaders also stepped up to the plate. Senator Peter Courtney, who has served the last 20 years as Senate President, also announced this will be his last session. Lawmakers are hoping new leadership will help ease the tension between the two parties and inspire more bipartisan efforts. Here's Rayfield.
I believe that we are all here because we want to do good for Oregon. And it is important to me that we give the measure of grace that comes with recognizing that in all of us. As Speaker, I want to understand what motivates each of us so that I can help us work together to serve the entire state of Oregon when we agree, and most importantly, when we don't agree. That takes time, patience, honest communication, and in an environment that doesn't often encourage those things.
Meanwhile, over 100 protesters rallied outside the Capitol against mask mandates and COVID vaccines. These protests came as Republicans proposed bills to ban vaccine passports, terminate the COVID state of emergency, and limit the governor's executive powers. These bills are likely dead in the water with the Democratic majority in power, but they do hold symbolic significance. Republicans are trying to make executive power a chief issue in the upcoming gubernatorial race.
So some of these discussions they're all happening right on the eve of a governor's race and also a race for some other important positions. So this is a little bit of a, kind of a place where the Republicans want to kind of make their case, and they want to start the debate right now about and try and rile up the base of their party about executive power, since they probably guess they're not going to be the chief executive, but they want to make sure that their voters take a shot at this.
In the past couple of years, tactics from Republicans like walkouts or requiring full bill readings have halted sessions altogether, as we've seen. Both parties have said they hope to avoid interruptions like this year, but there are a few controversial bills on the table. Democrats are continuing their push for overtime pay for agricultural workers. These workers are exempt from receiving time and a half for over 40 hours of work as it currently stands, and Democrats aim to offset the economic burden on employers by gradually implementing the policy and granting them tax credits. But farm owners are opposed to the bill, saying the additional costs could sink their businesses. Republicans have referred to this bill as the elephant in the room this session, so we'll see what happens. Another point of controversy, the effort to restore voting rights for adults in custody. This bill is a part of the Democrats' larger push for criminal justice reform in the wake of George Floyd's murder. House Republicans are opposed to this bill, saying it's a part of what they call Democrats' shameful pro-criminal agenda. But some efforts do have the potential to unite across the aisle this session. This includes a proposal from the governor to invest $200 million to grow the state's workforce in the healthcare, manufacturing, and construction sectors. Funds would go towards community college and apprenticeship programs and cover the cost of tuition, transportation, childcare, and more. Governor Kate Brown says this initiative will prioritize populations disproportionately impacted by the pandemic and existing workplace disparities.
Even today, in the middle of Oregon's strong economic recovery, the doors of opportunity remain closed for too many families, particularly our Black, Indigenous, Latino, Latina, Latinx, Asian, Pacific Islander, tribal, and people of color, people with low incomes, and those living in rural communities. But the truth is, herein lies an opportunity to connect Oregon's people to Oregon's jobs.
Brown is also calling for a $100 million investment in childcare and a $400 million investment in affordable housing. Other bills that could unite lawmakers include an effort to expand the state's broadband access and another to give Oregonians the options to finally pump their own gas. Other hot topics include emergency heat relief, limits on firing superintendents, police practices when stopping drivers, fuel disaster prevention, crackdowns on illegal cannabis, payments to essential workers, state gaming laws, and many, many more. There are currently over 260 bills, and only a handful are likely to reach the finish line. We'll keep you updated on what gains steam. I'm Hannah Mersbach with KGW. See you next week.